Good morning, lovely friends. How are you all doing today? I hope you're well. I'm okay. The back is... look, it's so much better. I'm up and about, but it's still just a little bit too tender for me to go to the garden. Oh, more of that in a minute. I mean, I had planned to go to the garden this week, just to do some very gentle stuff, really gentle, sort of sitting down, maybe doing some seeds. Come on to that in a second. But yeah, it's much improved. Thank you, all of those of you who've sent me well wishes. I've dragged the chair into the window today because, oh my goodness, the change of weather. I should say, by the way, hang on a minute, let's do a bit of housekeeping first. Welcome to month 59 roundup. Yes, it's 59. It's the end of March. Month 59 this month. That means that next month it's going to be month 60, which is bonkers. I'm so having a treat. This time in a month's time, there's going to be a glass in my hand and I think there might be some bubbles in it. Blimmin' earned it. Anyway, yeah, end of month 59, end of March. Oh, and it's been a bit of a pickle. You know, I was thinking about this last night as I was falling asleep. It would be really easy to dismiss this whole month, to sort of, oh, it's a write-off, oh, March was terrible, blah, blah, blah. It'd be really easy to do that. But the fact is, there have been so many positives as well. I've just remembered something I wanted to say right at the top of this video. Right, I'm going to get to March in a second. Just very quickly to say, because it's the 31st of March today. I'm filming this first thing in the morning. There's no light. That's kind of what I was getting at about dragging the chair over here. That I'm all over the place. We're going to go all around the houses. Bear with me. I know what I need to remember to say. Right, yes. I'm in the window because it's dark and grey and gloomy and cold out there. We've gone from, this time last week, it was bright, beautiful sunshine, clear blue skies, 20 degrees. And today I think it's about 7 degrees. By the weekend, at night, we're due to be in minus degrees again. It's like the clock's changed to British summertime. I know a few folk got confused about British summertime. No, it's not the summer, it's spring, but it's just the clock's change. When the clocks change, it's called British summertime. Yeah, the clock's changed and we're plunged back into winter. And I was kind of chuckling the other day because I think I must have read it as a headline on the computer when I was looking for something. I was chuckling about weather forecasters, weather presenters on sort of TV and weather reporters in the newspapers. We have a bit of a habit in Britain of, when we're talking about the weather, doing a comparison to another country. It's like, is that the only way we can understand the weather, is to talk about another country? So last week, I think Friday was the hottest day of that run of 2 weeks of gorgeous weather that I missed completely because of my stupid back. But yeah, on Friday they were saying, oh, the UK is hotter than Ibiza. That's what we do. We're hotter than Ibiza. Woo! For those of you who don't know Ibiza, it's a bit of a party island in the Mediterranean. It's a bikini island. Yes, we were hotter than Ibiza. This week, now the forecasters are saying that by the weekend we're going to be colder than Iceland. I love it. So last week we were better than Ibiza. This week we're worse than Iceland. Yeah, it's gone really chilly and I don't know, I really wanted to get back to the garden this week, but on the other hand, I don't enjoy it so much when it's cold. I mean, who does? Let's face it. I much prefer to be gardening in warmth, heat even, sunshine. But of course I will garden when it's cold, because if it needs doing, it needs doing. So it hasn't happened this week, for a reason I'll talk about in a second. I'm hoping that maybe until next week I can get back to the garden. But it's the law of sod. I've just checked the forecast. It looks like rain every day next week. Ah! So yeah, it would be very easy to kind of be super negative about this month and say, oh, I haven't been able to do the garden, oh, I've missed all the gorgeous weather, and now the weather's going to be rubbish. And I might think like that for about 1 minute, but then I snap myself out of it and get positive again. Now, the one thing I wanted to say before I forget, yes, it is the 31st of March today. I have to double check, excuse me a sec. It's something, it's definitely something I found since I stopped working for someone else and being so bound by having to be at my workplace on a certain day at a certain time, is I definitely lose track of the days more easily now, and sometimes even the month. So yeah, I just have to check. Quite often I think it's Saturday and it's Friday. Sometimes I think it's on a Sunday, I think it's Saturday, and then I think, oh, the weekend's gone. Anyway, it's the end of March, so I wanted to remind you all, in the UK, if you haven't done it yet, is do your meter readings today for your gas and your lecky, because tomorrow is when the price cap goes up. And I think from the latest I've read, I think the predictions are that our bills are going to go up by around 50%. It's a huge, huge increase. I'm not saying this to be a scaremonger. You know, I'm not trying to scare anyone. It's just a statement of fact. And we're all going to be tightening our belts a bit more, aren't we? But anyway, a bit more of that next month when we do another low spend year video. I hope you're all managing. I am. I normally do my meter readings on the 20th of the month, which I have done. I've done that as my normal. So my bill goes from the 20th to the 20th. However, I am going to be doing my meter reading later today, because if get me thoughts straight, if you're not sort of paying monthly, or if you're not doing monthly meter readings, if it's a sort of a rolling estimate, it's possible that some of your use from this month will be estimated to be into next month at the higher cost. So, you know, it might only be the difference of a couple of quid, but let's face it, a couple of quid here and there, it all adds up, doesn't it? And, you know, at the moment, we all need to just trim off a couple of quid here and there. So yeah, if you haven't done them, I would suggest pause the video right now. Go and grab your torch, your pen and paper. I don't know where your meters are, if you need a torch. Go and get your meter readings and submit them. I don't know how you do them normally, whether it's over the phone or online. I would suggest, if I do mine all online and it's kind of pretty much instant, I would suggest if you normally submit them by phone, just get onto it right now, because I know, like, up and down the country, we're all sharing this advice and the phone lines might be a bit busy. So yeah, get on with it now. We'll pause for a second. And we're back. Good. Okay. Any other business? Should we just end it there? I feel quite tired at the moment. A couple of things, because I think I mentioned it in a comment on my Facebook page. In terms of my chest, I feel great. I feel absolutely fine. I've not had a single cough or wheeze or crap. You know, my chest sounded awful before I'd gone into hospital. Hang on a sec, got to get comfy. This wriggled me back. Yeah, I mean, I could hear my own chest without putting my stethoscope to it. So it's great. Not an issue, not a single issue. I've been back to the hospital a couple of times for repeat chest x-rays. The first one of those was 2 weeks after my expulsion, I was going to say. After I left hospital, I was expelled from hospital. 2 weeks afterwards, and I've literally just had another one now in advance of seeing the respiratory consultant in, it's about 2 weeks' time. I'm also seeing the lung function unit. Brilliant. I think they're going to give me the all clear, and they're probably going to say that I can stop using the inhaler, which will be fantastic. This last chest x-ray was a little tiny bit of a palaver. Just as a heads up, this is going to be a bit of a rant. I'm going to be a bit of a Victor Meldrew. For those of you who don't know who Victor Meldrew is, oh, I missed that show. It was a great show. Okay, so Victor Meldrew was a character in a British TV sitcom called One Foot in the Grave, about they weren't that old, they were about a retired couple. That was kind of the premise. It was just a retired couple, but he was a grumpy old git. He's kind of one of those people, sort of like neck curtain twitcher, you know, go, ooh, you know, like on bin day, if the bins weren't put back exactly right, he'd be grumpy about it. Anyway, he had a catchphrase. All the Brits, you all know it, all together now. I don't believe it. That was his catchphrase. I don't believe it. Sorry, excuse me. I have been a total Victor Meldrew in the last 2.5 weeks. So yeah, with this hospital, with this last X-ray, and like I said, I feel great. Tired. I think the tiredness is it's part to do with the vitamin D. That's going to take ages to fix, but also just because of, you know, having that you know, any of you who live with pain will know what it's like. It's exhausting. So just with my back, just never being comfortable, not ever resting properly. Anyway, never mind. So I had this chest x-ray. I was supposed to have it 2 weeks ago, and it was the day after I tweaked my back. And I intended to go, and that morning, it was the following day, the morning I got up and I was trying to move around, bearing in mind that, you know, I was going to have to go down the stairs. Sorry, I've got a really itchy schnozzle today. Again, I don't know why. I knew that I was going to have to go down the stairs, walk down the street, catch a bus, get off the bus, go up to the hospital, stand up straight for my chest x-ray. About an hour or so before I was due to leave to go, I couldn't even stand up straight. I thought, this is useless. So I rang the hospital to say, can I postpone? You know, just explain the situation. And this is where the first of my, I don't believe it, comes in. The receptionist. What is it with receptionists? They do my head in. Now listen, I know some of them are fantastic. I know they are. I'm not having to go at all of them, but I just seem to get the ones, you know, the ones, they act as gatekeepers, and really they're not qualified to. You know, that receptionist doesn't know how important my chest x-ray is. She doesn't know what it's for. She doesn't know what it's about. She doesn't know anything. She is not medically trained. She doesn't know my history. I could be going for the x-ray because maybe I've detected a lump. She basically told me, when I said, can I postpone it, she went, no, you'll have to go back to your GP. It's like, and she was, you know, that kind of, oh, are you about to put the phone down? I said, no, hang on. I'm having this because I was actually an inpatient a few weeks ago. I had this really awful chest infection. I need this x-ray because I've got an appointment with the consultant in like a couple of weeks' time or so. I need to have this x-ray before I go and see the consultant. This is nothing to do with my GP. My GP hasn't ordered this. This is your own doctors from the hospital who ordered it. And she was really harumphy with me. She was like, well, you know, you really need to come on the day that you've been given an appointment. Really harumphy with me. And I said, look, I've explained, I can't walk. You know, I haven't done this on purpose. Anyway, she very begrudgingly said, well, seeing as it's a chest x-ray, we'll allow you to come to the walk-in clinic, and then rattled off times. And she said, but you have to do it within the next 2 weeks. If you don't do it within the next 2 weeks, you have to go back to your GP. And I said, well, thank you. I will try to do it in the next 2 weeks. But as I just said, this has nothing to do with my GP. Anyway, she wound me up. Things like that just wind me up. And I think look, I'm sure that I've seen it firsthand, both working in hospital and also, when I've been in waiting rooms waiting for things, I've seen people speak to receptionists in the most disgusting, horrible way. Horrible. There are horrible people in the world. But by the same token, if you're a receptionist in healthcare, you're dealing with people who are not at their best anyway, the patients, us clients. We're not at our best. The whole reason we're interacting with you is because we've got something wrong or possibly wrong. We're worried, whatever it is. So I think they just need to be a little bit more gentle in their manner. I mean, it's kind of like bedside manner, isn't it? Anyway. I've since been and had that. I had it the other day, which was also a bit of a moment because we had this, I don't know even if it happened in it, we had a 2-day bus strike in London. I was like, well, how am I going to get to the hospital? And by the time the bus strike is over, that's my 2 weeks allowance that little Miss Bossy Boots has given me for the walk-in chest x-ray clinic. Anyway, that's done. Good. And like I said, it all feels great. But yeah, back to that thing I was saying about I could kind of look at this month and go, oh, neggy, neggy, neggy. Actually, it's been a month of 2 halves, or like a third and 2/3 almost. Because, and it seems like ages ago already, it was in the first week of March, the lavender bags. I put the lavender bags on sale on Sunday the 6th. And that week leading up to, so the first week of March, I was really busy getting all the lavender bags finished, and that happened. Brilliant. On Monday the 7th, on the Sunday night, I stayed up really late. I stayed up till about 3 in the morning making up all the parcels. Monday to the post office, I had to do 2 trips in the end. Brilliant. Thank you, everyone. So yeah, that's a really, really positive thing. That first week of March was all about the lavender bags. Brilliant. And then the second week of March, I was able to get a load of garden time in. So let's see now. Yeah, load of bed prep done. How many beds did I manage to dig over in the end? I can't remember now, but sort of, and weeding and all that in preparation for, see, here comes some sunshine. It's really dark there, but can you see? I'm looking at my face now, the light's changed. 2 lots of horse muck, 2 different days barrowing the horse muck. So that's really positive stuff. Really, really great start to the garden year. So much so that when I first hurt my back, I thought, well, it's fine now because I'm really ahead of the game. I kind of spoke whatever too soon, because now I'm feeling like, I might be starting to slip behind a bit. In the past, when I've hurt my back, usually within a week or so, I'm back to normal. And now it's 2.5 weeks and it's still not, it's almost there. I reckon after 3 weeks, I'll be back in the garden. But yeah, so that's another really, really, really good, positive for March. That first couple of weeks of March, really positive, feeling fitter and healthier every day, feeling stronger every day, cracking on in the garden, building up that stamina again, building the muscles again. I think the last time I was in the garden, I think it was something like a 4.5 hour session. I haven't done 4.5 hours in ages. I've been doing like little 2-hour sessions. So yeah, fantastic. And then what I'm really hoping is when I get back to it, it's going to feel a bit like starting again. But yeah, hopefully build myself up again quite quickly and just get totally back in the swing of things. Can't wait. So yeah, really positive. But then, look, the back thing is just, the last 2.5 weeks, I just feel frustrated because I'm a worker, I'm a doer, I'm active. And so to not have that is, it's just, partly it's mind-numbingly boring. Partly I do start to, I have felt my sort of stress and anxiety levels kind of coming up. And I've sort of tried to say to myself, nip it in the bud. It's like, I can't do anything about it. I can't force the issue, you know, so try not to stress. I mean, it's easier said than done, isn't it? But just to sort of say, you know, what will be, will be. I've had a couple of times when I've tried to get on with things at home, and then after 3 or 4 hours, because a lot of that is me sitting down, whether it's at the sewing machine or the computer, and that's made me feel worse. It's like, no, just leave it. So I've been really good about prioritising looking after myself, but it does mean that, you know, I just haven't been as productive as I normally am and as I would like to be. You know, I'm playing catch up. But then, when was it? Last week, it's actually it's about a week and a day or so ago, I decided that I really did need to have a printer at home. I actually had something I needed to print right now. And so, excuse me, at that stage, there is a shop I can go to, you know, it's Curry's basically. It's not on my high street, it's down the hill a couple of miles, so it is a bus ride away for me. I used to walk it in the old days, can't do that length of walk anymore, but so it's a bus ride, but it's a direct bus. It's only sort of 20 minutes, you know, 20 minutes if the traffic's a bit rubbish, but it's actually really quite handy. And I've been backwards and forwards to them over the years when I've had to have repairs done. And there've been a few times when my laptop's gone a bit wonky and I'm like, I don't know what. So I've taken it down there and they've just fixed it on the spot for me and they haven't even charged me. There's a fantastic guy down there he's in like the fix it section. He's really brilliant. If I ever need it fixing, I kind of look for him, and if there's a queue, I kind of wait until he's free because he's really good. And like I said, loads of times they've just fixed it and not charged me anything, so they're brilliant. Anyway, I needed a printer, but I didn't feel up to, it's not so much not feeling up to the bus ride, but more that thing of carrying the printer back and carrying it up my stairs and all that. So I thought, fine, they have an online shop. I'll buy it online, but it's this, you know, it's all the same company. So that's what I did. I bought it online and got it at a reasonable price. I mean, it was 50 quid, which actually isn't a huge amount of money. My last printer, I know because they found me on the system when I started having problems. That printer I bought in 2009, and I'm the one who wrecked it this time, so it would have carried on going. So what's that, 13 years I'd had it? It would have gone 14, 15 years, I reckon. So 50 quid spread over that many number of years. You know, if I have this one for 10 years, 5 quid a year, what's that? It's less than 50, it's 40p a month. Just a bit more than 40p a month. 10p a week. 10p a week to have printing at my own convenience. Brilliant. Anyway, so I bought it online. Yay! And I've got my bank accounts, but I also have my PayPal account, and itching me pit like a monkey. Obviously, when I'd sold all the lavender bags, the money had come into my PayPal account. Some of it I'd already siphoned off. I've taken a chunk of it to pay for the horse poo. Some of it I've put straight over into savings to build up my savings accounts again. But some of it I'd left in PayPal, and I thought, great, the money's there, let's use it for the printer. So my lavender bags have bought my printer. Brilliant. Got delivered the next day. Then it wasn't until the next day that I decided to set it up. And I'm going to tell you this very briefly, because otherwise I'll get myself wound up and all of you. I spent 8 hours trying to set it up. I was going round and round in circles. I downloaded all the stuff I needed to. I'd installed. Anyway, got nowhere. And it was beyond frustrating. And I think for me, this is why I struggle with technology, because I just don't know how to fix things. And that's what I do. That's my approach in life. I fix things. You know, if I've got a problem, I sort it. I do it on my own. I deal with it. I get things done. So 8 hours to get nowhere. 8 precious hours. And at the end of it, I've got nothing to show for it whatsoever. I had a little bit of a grumble about it on Facebook. Bless him, Richard saw that, and then in the evening he rang, and not to fix it, because he wouldn't have been able to over the phone, but just because he knew that by then I would be in such a state of stress and wound upness and Victor Meldrewiness. He knew that I would need to rant. He let me just rant for an hour down the phone. He must have been sat there with his phone going, Paul's talking to quiet, and he's doing, it's just Vivi. She's just having a rant. Anyway, 8 hours, got nowhere. Left it a couple of days because it had really wound me up, and I was behind on, because I'm already behind from this stupid blimmin' bad back. I was like, I've got so much to do and catch up on. So I left it a couple of days. I thought, I can't deal with it. It's stressing me. Then I came back to it. I had my hospital thing in the morning, and that's a ways on the bus. That's a whole nother town. Got back, just sat quietly for 20 minutes and thought, right, ring the company about the computer. So I rang. I was on hold for ages, got through to a woman, and I was asking for the tech support, and she was like, well, have you pressed this button? Have you pressed that button? I was like, yeah. She went, oh, well, I don't really know then. I was like, well, are you tech support? She went, oh no, I'll put you through. Anyway, she put me through to a really, really nice guy, a really fantastic guy. And by the way, because I think someone commented they thought I was having to pay to get it fixed. No. It's all free from the company. So he took remote control of my laptop, which is always really weird when I can see the mouse moving around on the screen and it's not me doing it. So I'm on the phone with him and he's operating my computer now. And I can see him doing all the things that I'd been doing all day Friday. Anyway, we went round and round in circles, and I said, oh yeah, I remember that bit, I definitely did that bit. And then he was like, well, what did you do next? I was like, I can't remember. It's like, I was saying this to Paul the other day, I spoke to Paul as well, that it's almost like Hansel and Gretel. You need to leave a trail of breadcrumbs, because you get so far into the computer and you can't remember the route of how you got there. Anyway, so he was mucking around with it for a couple of hours or so and kept trying the same things over and over again, and he kept saying, oh, press this button, press that button on the actual printer. And in the end he said, I think it's faulty. I don't believe it. So a combination of all my efforts on the Friday and then various phone calls and then him do, I reckon in total that's 12 hours spent to find out it's faulty and it has to be returned. And this is what I mean about, because it's a computer, I can't make the call that it's faulty. I can't call the shop and say this is faulty. They won't take my word for it. It has to be their expert. Now, if, you know, I can't think of an immediate comparison. If I opened a book and there were 3 pages missing, you know, within the first chapter, you go, oh, well, this book is faulty. I can't, at what point can I say the printer is faulty? I'm thinking I'm the one who's faulty. I'm thinking it's just because I'm being stupid. That's the thing with technology. It makes me feel stupid. And I know I'm not stupid. Anyway, so he said, yeah, it's faulty. He gave me a number, a reference number kind of thing to show, yes, this is one of their own tech wizards is saying it's faulty. You need to return it. By this time, we've both been chatting away, new BFFs, and I nearly broke down and I said, I can't face another day of waiting indoors at home for the courier to come to collect it. can I take it to the shop? And he said, yeah, you can take it to a store because it's all the same company. Just take it to the store and they'll swap it for you there. And I thought, great, thank you. So by then it was about 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So that day, all I'd done was go to the hospital and find out my printer is faulty. Another day completely wasted. You can see why I'm being grumpy at the minute. Anyway, the next morning, first thing, I went with fortunately the printer just fits into the granny trolley, whizzed it down to the store, got to the store, got it out, said, my printer's faulty, here's my fault code, can I swap it please? And she went, yeah. Someone went and got another one off the shelf, so I'm standing there, and this is the thing, it's like a human being, I'm a human being, broken printer, new printer, brilliant, job's a good one. No, it's not. So another infuriating thing, they couldn't do a swap because I'd used PayPal to buy it rather than my debit card or a credit card. Because I'd used PayPal, I can only swap it online. And I nearly went mad in the shop, and I was like, why does it not say that? At the checkout online, it should say, by the way, if you use PayPal to pay for this, you will not be able to go to a store. Honestly, I could have cried. So I came home, got back on the phone, another hour of faffing around on the phones and on hold, and eventually they've said, yeah, a courier will come to collect it. It won't be a swap. I'm not going to get a new printer. They have to collect the faulty one, get it back to them, and when they're satisfied it's faulty, then they'll send me a new one. But at that stage, I'm not going to take a new one. I'm going to ask for a refund. I like the size of the printer, but I'm going to get a refund so that I can then go and buy it from the shop, so that if anything goes wrong, I can go to the shop and get it sorted. I think, look, the lesson in this is, and it's something, what else? What was my other example of it? Oh, it was with a camera I bought. I bought it online and I couldn't change it at a shop. I would far rather not buy anything online. That kind of stuff. There's little things I'll buy online, like I might buy a book or, a gift, or I can't really think of an example. Not something that's going to break or possibly have those kind of tech issues. I've just found that if you buy it online, it's so much harder to get the problem sorted, and then you're beholden to couriers. So now, tomorrow, when I was planning to go to the garden, I can't, because I've got a pickup of the printer booked for tomorrow between the hours of 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. I mean, if they come at 10, I can get on with things, but in my experience, that's not what happens. They come at 6. So it's another day wasted. I mean, I'll try and do stuff at home, of course I will. But yeah, so that's my kind of advice to myself and to everyone else, is buy it in a shop if you can, because then you can go back to the same shop and see a human being. But definitely what I would advise is, if you're buying tech type stuff where there can be faults, things can go wonky, if you're going to do it, pay with a credit or debit card, because then you can cancel things, get refunds. Or I could have exchanged it in the shop if I'd used my debit card. I don't do credit cards, a debit card. But because I paid with PayPal, So I think, yeah, if you're going to buy anything like that, do not use PayPal to pay for it, because it just, it's completely ballsed me up. By the time I get a new by the time I get a new printer, it's probably going to be, 2 weeks. It's going to be at least 2 weeks later. It's just not good enough, is it? And the fact that they won't do a swap tomorrow when the courier comes, it's not a swap. They're going to just take this one away, and they're going to still have to wait. Anyway, yeah, Victor Meldrew. But then, so where it is this, branch of Currys, I'm sure you're all familiar with these types of shops overseas, even if you don't have that particular brand. They're these big kind of warehouse type shops that have got, I mean, they're just vast, you know, you've got your computers and you've got your fridges, freezers, TVs, toasters and irons. I didn't even look at the irons on that day. I do think I need a new iron at some point, but not yet. Anyway, and it's these kind of out of town type places. Well, next door to it, there's a big, massive branch of one of our sort of high street supermarkets, massive. And they do like loads besides food. And I wanted, I've got one here, haven't done it yet. Very simple thing. Look, it's my bog standard hair clip. So my old one has finally broken, that I've had for years, absolutely years. There we go, some up, some down. I can't find one like this on my high street. Crazy. There's all sorts of places to look and to choose from. I've been in everywhere, no one has them. So I thought, oh, I know, when I do my printer, I'll pop into that really big supermarket, because I know they've got a massive hair section in there. I'll go and see if they've got them. And yay, sure enough, they do. And I think they're £2.50. So it's not a huge expense, and it's going to last, well, going by my previous one, you know, 5 years more. So, yay. And I thought, right, while I'm there, I'm going to pick up 2. So I've always got a spare. If I can't get them on my high street anymore, make the most of being down there. Because, oh, that's the other thing. I kept talking about my bus fare being £3 return trip to, say, the library, if I was going to print there. The bus fares have gone up. It's now £3.30 for the return. So I thought, yeah, make the most of it. So I bought 2. Here's the other one. I don't know if you can you see there? Look, it's broken. Got it home. It's like, that's obviously snapped off in the shop at some point. It's broken. And I was like, it's just like, there's me. I've come home with a broken printer in my bag still, and now I've got a broken hair clip. And I was like, oh, are you kidding me? I don't believe it. I think my blood pressure might have gone up a few points this week. It's so annoying. So I've got my little receipt there, but I was thinking, it's a £2.50 hair clip and a £3.30 return trip to the shop. So obviously it's not worth going on the bus to change it. What I'm going to try to do with this stupid blimmin' printer situation, I'm going to shut up about it now, sorry, that's my life, it's been my life for the last 2 weeks, is when they take this one back to say, I don't want an exchange, I want a refund, please. I just want a refund. Get that money refunded into my PayPal account, move it from my PayPal account into my bank account, withdraw it as cash, go, oh no, maybe not do it as cash, because I prefer cash, but do it as debit card. Go to the branch of Curry's down the hill and buy it in person. When I'm there, is change my clip. I mean, come on. Look, I know, first world problems, but I just feel really frustrated at the moment. But never mind, look. There is, we have got one of, it's Sainsbury's, we have got a tiny one on the high street, you know, these kind of like little, like the local versions where it's just really tiny, kind of quick in and out. So I will ask if I can return it. I don't need to change it, I'll just return it. I'll see if they will accept it as a return, but they may not because they don't actually stock them there. Anyway, we'll see. Doesn't matter. So yeah, look, this blimmin' printer faff, on the back of me back faff, it's all just been like, oh, I feel depleted, but I'm filling myself back up by remembering what a great start to the month it was with the lavender bags and the garden. I've potted on those horrid little peppers. Not the peppers weren't horrid, the pots were. Just to say, a few people got confused, they were not peat pots. I would never in the month of Sundays use peat pots. Peat should be banned in gardening. They were like a compacted post-consumer waste recycled cardboard. I've potted those on. They are starting to perk up. Yay! So yeah, there's been a lot of thwarting moments, but I'm filling up my optimism again with the sight of those in the window. I've got right now, even as I'm speaking to you, what's the time? Yeah, oh, the first one will be going live in a second. I've got, it's the grumpy police. They've come to arrest me for over grumpage. I've got my eBay going on, selling some clothes. What have I got going on at the moment? I've got jeans, a load of my skinny girl jeans. It's like when I was that big. And I've had, when I checked this morning first thing, and there were a couple of bids, it was starting, and there's quite a few watchers. So I'm really hopeful for my eBay, and that will be another little chunk of money. What I'm thinking with anything that I get from this eBay, set it aside, and that will all go towards paying for my little 4 days away with my sister. It's actually only going to be 3 nights of the Airbnb that need paying for. So it's not a huge sum. It's quite a big chunk of money for me. But anything that I get from eBay today, that can go towards the little jaunt in the summer, which I'm really looking forward to. Can't wait. So yeah, you know what? I don't stay grumpy for long. I try not to. I have my grumpy moments, I have my Victor moments, but generally I'll find something to get happy about and get excited about again. And, you know, yeah, the weather's a bit grim. really bad timing with this back. But, you know what, before we know it, it'll be sunny in the garden again, and I'll be out there, and this will be a bit of a distant memory. And before it's a distant memory, I'll get back to the garden anyway and start with some, what should we do? I don't think I'll do too much bed prep straight away, but certainly some seed sowing, some tidying. Oh, and I'm really, I'll tell you about this when we do it, but I'm really excited for a new plan in the herb bed. It's snowing. Are you kidding me? Okay, it's snowing. I mean, I was going to say unbelievable. It's not unbelievable, because this is how our weather can be. It's tiny, little, teeny tiny intermittent flakes. It's not going to settle. It's not like snow like you guys have in other parts of the world, but it just seems so ridiculous that last week people were out in the street in shorts and flip-flops, and now we're back to hats and scarves and gloves. Right, I think I'm just going to sit back for a minute and watch the snowflakes drifting down and chuckle at the absurdity of it before I get on the computer to see how my eBay has done before I start making my eBay parcels up to go to the post office. Yay! I mean, I suppose that, you know, tomorrow is a day at home whilst I'm waiting for the printer courier. But actually, there's plenty for me to be getting on with here. I've been trying to catch up, sorry, just quickly before we go, I've been trying to catch up with all sorts of admin-y stuff, because I want to get the sewing machine back out, and I want the sewing machine to be out pretty much full time now, from now kind of probably right through till Christmas. So who knows, maybe I might even get the sewing machine out tomorrow. No, because I've got to do a load of fabric cutting first. But whatever, I will find something to do to keep me gainfully employed, as it were. And I can't go where it's snowing. Right, I'm going to bid you all a fond farewell now. So I'm going to say cheerio, everybody. I will see you all again really soon as I go into the last month of my 5th year of living without a wage, living by my own wits, living by the food I produce, and living by the bits and bobs that I can sew and sell. Pretty cool, huh? All right, lovelies, look after yourselves, look after each other, be kind. I think that's my first sale happening. Right, I'm off. Bye!